Uh, yes, hello, welcome. Let's continue the next lab program. So far, we have completed 4 lab programs in the Python as per the Python lab syllabus. So, in this 5th program, we will talk about the simulation, write a Python program to simulate the stack. I think it's very simple because already you aware of that what is stack. It's in basically it's a kind of last in first out manner, that fashion LIPO manner it works. So, that is a stack, and if there is any stack, what are the possible, I think list stack operations. We know that first always we will try to insert an element or nothing but here push. We are just trying to push the element into the stack, that is one thing, just to add into the stack, and removing, that is nothing but the pop we are removing, whichever is at the last that will be popped out or removed the first, last in first or last in whichever the element is entered or inserted or pushed at the end, that will be removed or popped at the first. That is the reason last in first out. So, so that means what are the possible operations? You can insert, you can push the element into the stack, you can pop, that means whatever the elements which are available in the stack, that you remove it, that is pop. And whenever you want, you can display. Suppose even if you have one element, yes, you can display. If no element also, yes, no element means always that we need to ensure that the stack is empty. For that also again we can manage through our code. So, one is push, pop, display, and even whether the string stack is empty. So, these are the possible operations that we will try to simulate here. The same explanation I think here given. So, here you can see here the it is explained what is stack. There will be initialization. First always the stack is empty. For that we are just initialize that object, an empty list object. So, that is the reason we use the function called init, and push. Push is a method to add an item into the top of the stack. Always whenever you want to push, that will be at the top only. Even if it is no element, the first element is top. So, second if you push, second element will be at the top, like that. So, pop, as already I mentioned, no need to mention which element I need to pop or which element I need to remove, because you do not have any option, whichever is at the last, whichever is at the top, that will only get removed. So, that is the reason we do not send any particular parameter for the pop method, directly it removes it, whichever the object currently holding, that will be removed, removes and returns the top of the item on the stack, and it checks whether always whenever you want to remove, first you need to check whether the element the stack is empty before doing or attempting the pop operation. Next one is peek. Peek is nothing but the whichever the element is at the top, that without removing from the stock, you just check whether the stock is empty or not. Again another method is empty, whether just we need to cross check whether the stock is empty or not, and size we need to return what is the size of the stock. So, this is how these are the simple operations we have just demonstrated, simulated here. So, demonstrates how to use the stack operations, including pushing the stacks, popping them, peeking at the top element, and checking the size of the stacks. These are the operations we have done in our code, and simple stack implementation demonstrates the basic operation of the stack, which follows the last in first out principle. So, that is the explanation of this stack. So, now I think we are clear what are the operations we are going to perform. Now, we will implement that all the operations whatever we have discussed so far, we will try to implement, or we will try to write a code or demonstrate the stack operations. See here, first we are creating the class called stack. So far in this program, from this program we are going to start how to create a class. I think already we are familiar how to create a class. So, name of the class is stack. It is a initialization, we are just it's a constructor calling the or initialize, whenever the object is created, automatically it will be initialized. See init method. So, initially the stack is empty. So, open and close the what is it, braces, the square bracket. So, list is empty, the stack is empty. Now, I am just defining one more method, that is the first operation, it is a push operation, whichever the current, it is pointing to the current element object. Self is it is always pointing to the current object. whichever your item you want to push, that you send as a parameter for the push of 10. That means the 10 will be assigned to the item. Now I am just self dot, so current object self dot stack is our class dot, what is that, append means what, it's keep on adding into the existing stack. Already there is a stack list of elements. Now I think since it is a beginning and there is no element, I am trying to append means it will just try to go and add at the end. Which one you want to append? The item which you are receiving from the calling function. So I am just after appending, these are all the inbuilt functions. So it will print, so pushed item name, whatever the item number, the number is there, pushed 10 onto the stock. So similarly pop is there. Pop, as already mentioned, first always we need to check whether the stock is empty. So for that reason we are checking the condition. Here also we are written a method pop of, as already mentioned, pop method don't expect any parameter, because you don't have here no option, whichever is at the top that one will only get removed, because since it is a last in first out mechanism. If not, if the stock is not empty, then only it will be, see directly we are calling self dot stack dot pop method, whichever the element is removed that will be stored in this element or variable popped underscore item. So now I am printing after the removal of the element. So the popped item, whichever the item has been removed, that I am printing. So that particular item popped 10 from the stock, and that value you need to return. So if stack is empty, obviously you cannot pop out, or you cannot remove any element, because there is no element at all. So else, if it is empty, then stock is empty, you cannot pop. So now we are not returning anything, that's the reason return none. So this is a simple implementation of the pop method. Peek already mentioned, it's just top of the without removing anything. Not empty, here also we need to check if stock is not empty, then whichever self dot stack of minus, that will be the top item, then that you need to mention. So top item always whichever is at the how many elements you keep on adding, pushing, whichever is at the top, that will return the top item. If it is empty, then else block will get execute, stock is empty, and then I am just not returning any value. So another condition is def empty. Here I am just checking the condition whether the stock is empty or not. For that the method is empty of self. So it will return length. Always the length should be equal to 0, then only we can say the stock is empty. Length of self dot stock equal to 0, then we can say it's a empty stock. And now the size, how many elements are there in the stock? For that we have one more method, that is def size of self. So we are taking the just length of that stock, that's all. Stack size is equal to length of self dot stock, and now I am just printing return stack size. So now all the operation implementation has been done. Each operation is in one method. Push is one method, pop is one method, peek is one method, empty, and then size. All 5 methods we have implemented. Now you call. See stack, we are calling the object, the name is stack. Now stack, it's an object, this is class creation of the object. Stock is uppercase S is a class, in that we are creating an object. What is that? Left hand side of the equal, that is an object name, that is we are calling this class. So now through the object we are trying to access the members of the respective class. Overall the members of the class called stack is S is an uppercase. In that class we have the members like push, pop, is empty, peek, size. Now if I want to access those members, always through an object you try to access. So stock dot push, I am trying to push 10. Now the first element is 10. Again there is a stock dot push. On top of 10 there will be a 20. Next one more push, there will be a 30. Now 3 elements are there. First element 10, second element is 20. On top of that 30. So top element is what? 30. So if I say peek means whichever the element is at the top, that will be returned. See here I have given the comment, it should show the top element is 30. Similarly pop, now here I have no need to mention any which element you want to remove. By default whichever is at the top, that will only get removed. So 30 will get removed. So remove the top element and you need to display which element it is removed, that is 30. Next again size. Now what is the size? Because earlier it was 3, now 1 is popped out, so rest size is 2. again I am popping. So, earlier 30 was removed, now only 10, 20 is there, 20 is at the top, that will also removed, and printing the message top element is 20. Again one more pop. So, there are only one, there is only one element, that is 10, that will also removed, and it shows the message like the element 10 is removed, and finally pop. So, there is no more element in the stack, it is showing stack is empty. So, this is how see here, push 10 onto the stack, push 20 onto the stack, 30 onto the stack, top element is 30, pop 30 from the stack, stack size is 2, pop 20 from the stack, pop 10, finally stack is empty, and you cannot pop any more elements because the stack is already empty, there is no other element in the stack, since you cannot pop any other element. This is how you can easily implement the stack operation by using the Python programming. This is about our fifth program in this Python lab. Thank you.